So welcome everyone to our virtual trend tour. Today we will talk about mobility, or to be more precise, about batteries. And we have invited two really cool startups. It's Nowos and LiBCycle, which I will present to you in a few minutes. My name is Natascha Zeljko, and I'm the co-founder and executive partner of CIRCULAZE. And this is our first session after our summer break. And we're looking forward to a really jam-packed program within the next or upcoming few weeks and months. And just to give you a short rundown what we're up to at the moment. So our biggest thing at the moment is our conference. It's two events we are just about to prepare. It's the award night, the CIRCULAZE night. And at the CIRCULAZE night, we will present and celebrate this year's top 21 startups, which we nominated with our jury. And that will be the top 3 startups in 7 categories. And we have this year, for the first time, also an 8th category, which will be circular company. And all the winners you will see at the CIRCULAZE night at November 7th in Munich, and we will reveal the winners also to you all guys the next day, November 8th, in our magazine. So you can follow up on this. And of course, there is the summit, which is on November 8th. It's a full day conference, and we have created and put together a really thrilling program and a really thrilling speakers lineup. We can drop you the link in our comment section, so just look it up. And we have a special guest. We are very proud that we will welcome Dr. Auma Obama. She is an international keynote speaker. She's a founder, author, guest lecturer, and she's an expert who's focusing on environmental and sustainability and social responsibility. So very thrilled to have her at the summit. And for all startups out there, at our summit, we will also have a startup village with the possibility to present your startup and as well as a pitch stage. And we will have a great presenter, great moderator at the pitch stage. This will be Jörg Binnenbrücker, and he is the partner of a VC company, Capnamic of Cologne. So he will do the presentations and moderate the sessions. Yeah, and also upcoming in the next couple of weeks, we will have exchanges, which some of you might know. That's our expert talks, and we have a really interesting topic coming up. It's how to transform from a linear to a circular company, and we will have a real case there. Our partner KUP will be there with a company, and we will discuss all these topics around the transformation. And we will have also another 2 CIRCULAZE on tour, which is our in-field trips. So we will be at the ISPO fair in Munich end of November, and we will be on December 6th. We will visit our circular company who won the award, which I can't reveal now who is it, but we will be there at December 6th and be in place there and visit the site of them. So that's quickly the scoop on what's happening at CIRCULAZE right now. I went a little bit long with the intro, as we have a small change in our session today. Usually we do have an expert keynote, but unfortunately this time our keynote speaker had to cancel last minute. So we just have to do it differently, and we just decided to skip this part, and so we have a longer part for our 2 startups. So without further ado, let's start with the first one. The first startups today presenting is Nowos, and Nowos is the battery lithium expert. Nowos specializes in recycling batteries, which is crucial, since all of you know one argument against is what to do with all these batteries at the end of the life cycle. So we will see how this works and the extension of the first life as well as the development of the second life. Nowos is a Dutch-French startup, and tonight we have here presenting Marion Denoeud, who handles communication at Nowos, and she joins us from a village or a small city near Lyon in France. So very happy to have you here, Marion. And yeah, I would say let's just jump in our first session. Marion, the stage is yours.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for welcoming me on the CIRCULAZE virtual trend tour. I'm really happy to be there. I'm going to open the virtual trend tour about on the circular economy theme, which is our core business. So as you say, Nowos is a battery lithium expert. Did you know that lithium-ion batteries have more than one life? Nowos does, and that's why we offer circular economy solutions for lithium batteries. 92% is the rate of batteries. Oh, sorry. 92% is the rate of batteries initially intended for recycling that were able to return to the market with more than 80% of their original capacity. We have all seen lithium take place as a key element in the composition of electric batteries and allow us to turn away from fossil fuels. While the overall demand for lithium is expected to increase 14-fold by 2030, only a poor supply of lithium would risk slowing down the ecological transition and will compromise the objectives defined by the Green Pact for Europe. So we must put in place a sustainable model with an inverted and resilient supply chain for these rare earth materials. Because actually, only less than 10% of lithium batteries are recycled. Can you believe that? What about the 90% remaining? When our cars have a problem, we don't scrap them, we repair them. It is time to implement the same approach for our damaged batteries, which are still too considered as waste. Nowos is able to add this crucial step to the lithium battery life cycle that was previously extraction, production, consumption, and recycling. Already in 1988, the European authorities had published a document on the waste management hierarchy to make our linear management model evolve to a more sustainable circular economy model. At the first level of this hierarchy is the concept of prevention, defined by the ability to anticipate and reduce the production of waste at the end of life when designing a product. Nowos focuses on repairing batteries that are not waste, to extend the first life of a battery and to avoid a waste status of that battery. It is a true prevention solution for lithium battery waste. Since the creation of Nowos, our ambition has been deployment across Europe. So we are reaching our goal day after day. Nowos has already opened 2 repair centers in 2020. One in the Netherlands to manage batteries from Northeast Europe, and the other one in France, near from Lyon, to manage batteries from Southwest Europe. In 2023, we opened our 3rd repair center in the UK to meet demand across the channel without customs constraint. And we hope to open one in Germany in 2024 and one in Italy in 2025. This solution of analysis and repair of battery components targets the various professionals engaged in the soft mobility, for example, like the electric scooters, electric bikes, also the small household appliance, like the electric vacuum cleaners and the electric mixers, but also the mechanized equipment and tooling, as electric drill and electric chainsaws. But what are we doing concretely at Nowos? Nowos focuses on safety and compliance. We support companies in the safe transport of their batteries to our repair plants. The batteries that can be repaired by our experts are then returned to the market. Our past experience as a lithium battery manufacturer allowed us to acquire the knowledge necessary for the repair of lithium batteries. For first-life batteries that cannot be repaired, Nowos offers a second life solution with the extraction of components that may be necessary for the repair of another battery, but also the constitution of new batteries. For example, our experts have developed an innovative process that makes it possible to reuse cells in new applications without compromising their integrity and give them a second life. We also guarantee safe storage for lithium batteries, and our past experience as lithium batteries manufacturers for great customers like Aston Martin, Lotus, allow us to offer better solutions in terms of battery design and to redefine with our partners a waste prevention battery. To give you an idea of the importance of our action as a waste prevention solution, 23 tons of material were saved thanks to batteries repaired by Nowos in 2022, meaning the pound of 5 elephants. It's really big. Our approach offers real benefits for our partners. First, we're extending the lifetime of their lithium battery. They are repaired with a minimum of 70% of their original capacity. We are close to them. We have several repair plants strategically located in Europe to efficiently and quickly meet their need. We offer a solution profitable for our partners. Their cost will be reduced by preferring repair rather than the purchase of new batteries. We offer complete support in all logistical and administrative procedures. We are compliant with the European directive. Nowos is a solution that complies with European regulation on the handling of hazardous materials. It's a business value for them, an added value in the case of the resale of the battery with a warranty and certification valid for a period of 6 months. So, by becoming an expert in extending the life cycle of a lithium battery, Nowos also becomes a player in decarbonization and participates in creating hand-to-hand with its professional partners, a circular economy for lithium batteries. So now, if you have some question, I will answer.
So, yeah, thank you very much, Marion. Very impressive, very thrilling. Yeah, so the audience is very welcome to post comments or ask questions in the comment section. Just drop your questions there. But I have a first question for you, Marion. Perhaps to make it a little bit clearer, what would be the difference between what you call the repair and reconditioning? What is the exactly difference?
So today there is many companies that offer the refurbishing of batteries, which consists in replacing the cell pack present in the battery with a new pack of cells.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a dangerous and expensive and non-compliant practice. Dangerous, why? Because the replaced cells are not necessarily the same and therefore they are not adapted to the battery, which can cause an accident as a fire starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive too because changing the cells of a battery does not guarantee the repair of the battery. The origin of battery failures does not always come from the cells.
Mm-hmm.
It's non-compliant also because replacing the cell packs cancel the certification of conformity of a lithium battery. We have to
Mm-hmm.
know that the certification is mandatory for the sale of a lithium battery. If we
Mm-hmm.
don't have the certification, the battery is non-compliant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really dangerous, this practice of refurbishing. And Nowos act as a lithium battery repair service because we repair various type of failures from casing, fuse, BMS, cell unbalance, discharging. And the
Mm-hmm.
last failure, the discharging, is caused by leaving a battery too long without charging that, and it can completely drain the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So the battery have built-in safety filters to prevent them from overloading or overheating,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not designed for this to handle the deep discharge.
Mm-hmm.
And the battery can be damaged and reducing its life and capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But Novos has a concept protocol, and we can recover it and extend the life of the batteries for deep discharging.
Mm-hmm.
So all our repair are carried out by professionals trained at in ADR 1.3. It's
Mm-hmm.
transport of dangerous goods, and
Mm-hmm.
we comply with the European regulation. So it's why the repair by Nowos is more compliant. It's not dangerous, and it's more
Mm-hmm.
interesting for the cost.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, very interesting because it's also foremost also a safety and a safety question, right? We're dealing here with dangerous goods. And another question that just came in from one of our audience, one of our viewers here. How long will be the second life of the battery after the repair?
So the second life of the battery will depend. So we are defined with our partner a state of health for the battery. For for now, we have been there for 3 years, and we have put in place a traceability for each battery. So we're putting a tracking code on each battery
Mm-hmm.
to ensure the traceability for each process and for after. And for now, we don't have received back a battery that we have repaired. So
Okay.
it's been 3 years. So we will see in long time, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
we can
Mm-hmm.
say that the second life for battery is really effective.
Okay. Yeah, and this brings us to the next question from our audience. Matthias Schulz asked one of our partners, asked, I understand you focus on repair of batteries, but do you or partners of you also take care of recycling if not repairable? This can also be the case, right?
Yeah, so it's also the case. So we are taking care of the recycling when the batteries are not repairable. We have a different solution if the customers want to get back their batteries, even if they're not repairable. We can send them back, but there will be cost associated to this because of the logistic. but we are working with some eco-organisms like Corapil and Skrelec to make this recycling for the batteries that are not able to be repaired. And we are also saved materials, as I said in my presentation, because we are dismantling the batteries that cannot be repaired to save the spare parts that we can reuse in other batteries.
Okay.
So yes, we are recycling the battery.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And another question from the audience I just saw. This is about your future. We're seeing a lot is going on already. You plan next locations, 24 in Germany, then 25 also. But what is your vision for Nowos, let's say, in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
So we want to, because now in the law there is no regulation about, and we don't have integrated the repair for batteries, for the lithium batteries. So our vision and our objective is now to make this practice legal, not illegal, but yeah, we need to input this practice in the process for lithium batteries. And so, yes, it's our objective, and we want to work with more professionals. We work today with the soft mobility, the mechanized equipment, and small household appliance, but maybe later with some other markets. And yes, we want to grow up everywhere in Europe, maybe after out of Europe, and yes,
Okay.
to just make this practice normal for
Okay.
lithium batteries.
So I see. So still room to grow, be it markets, be it the fields you're active in, to expand.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Marion. For now, I would say, yeah, it's fine. We have a very good impression. Thank you a lot for joining us tonight, and please stay. And perhaps you want to follow the next presentation we are up to. Because now I would suggest to draw our attention to our second startup here. This is LiBCycle, and LiBCycle is joining us from Munich. We are also in Munich, so for us it's home turf here. We have one of the co-founders joining us, Philipp Brunotte. And LiBCycle, in a nutshell, is an all-in-one service for the transportation of lithium batteries, from inventing several and designing special boxes, which we will, I think, hear from Philipp, all the way up to recycling, dismantling, and also second life. Yeah, so curious to hear what's about the details and how you invented this and what are you up to. Yeah, the stage is yours, Philipp.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me here today. Yeah, so LiBCycle was founded in 2021 here in Munich, and now, yeah, we are 2 years on the market, and got quite a big stake already in the transport market. And maybe you can go to the second slide, because so for us it was important at the beginning to get to grow really fast. So due to this, we needed money and infrastructure, because in the logistics market, you need a lot of warehouses, you need a lot of trucks. And when you want to work with the big players in the market, you need directly a size that is reasonable to work with. So for example, most of our customers are the German automotive industry, or most of the car manufacturers in the world are at the moment our customers. And we are part of the InTime holding. So we have a strategic investor invested in us. So this is InTime and the Super Group, and we are the company who is really focusing on the lithium battery transport and the waste transportation. We have developed own transport boxes from the scratch in order to enable and compliant and fast transportation and the safe transportation and storaging of the batteries, because there were, when we founded our company, only very few boxes on the market. And there we invented one by our own and have several patents on them. Maybe you can go to the next slides and I can present our services a little bit better. So yeah, what we are doing basically, we are in our core, we are a logistics company and doing waste logistics, dangerous goods logistics all over Europe. Due to this, we have quite a large network of 150 owned trucks and drivers and over 14 warehouses. So we are using them as cross docks all over Europe, or in many European countries. This is very important in order to do a good and fast and efficient sustainable logistics, because you have to consolidate the batteries. For example, when you have one battery in a workshop, you don't want to move the single battery 1,000 kilometers with one truck, so you consolidate it in a warehouse and then bring it on a large truck and drive with a full truck load the long distance. But here, due to the reason that lithium batteries are such a dangerous goods and are often classified as waste in our business, here it becomes hard because there is almost no infrastructure to do this at the moment. And so we have to make a lot of work. So we have to invest in our infrastructure, into the warehouses, and to deal with the different regulatories, not only in Germany, but also all over Europe. And even in Germany, it's totally different from region to region sometimes, because it's a federal state and have to deal with the authorities on a local level in this field, and this makes it hard. And so one of our biggest advantages at the moment and our USPs is our infrastructure that we are having in comparison to the market. And because we were some of the first movers here and have quite a large infrastructure already that is compliant and can be used. In addition, besides of the logistics, we are offering more services. For example, the transport boxes, because lithium batteries, when they are defective or critical defective, or even when they are just new, they need a specially certified transport box. And this has to be, it's quite a long process to get all the certifications done. And we have developed one by our own, or different boxes by our own, and have it in different sizes and forms, and offer this on a leasing or selling model to our customers. So for example, when a workshop or a dealership has one battery that has to be transported from A to B, they just tell us the size of the battery. We come there and do the loading of the battery into the box, and then bring it to the recycling facility, for example. And so our customers don't need to buy the boxes by themselves, because they are quite expensive, when you just need it once a year or twice a year. And this is one of our add-on services. In addition, the classification from a legal perspective, from a legal perspective and liability perspective, the classification of the battery into one of the three statuses. So if it's a battery that is defective, critical defective, or new. When you don't classify a battery, it's automatically by law critical defective. And then you have to transport it as critical defective. So you need some super safety boxes that cost really an insane amount of money. And due to this, the whole logistics will get much more expensive and much more inefficient and not sustainable anymore. And we offer a remote classification for our customers, because often customers say, we don't know anything about the battery because we are not an expert on this. We just have it here at the moment, and it looks fine, but we don't have further information. And when you classify a battery, you are personally liable for the classification. Meaning when, for example, I say this battery is defective or this battery is new, and something happened with the battery and the battery wasn't new. So, for example, it was critically defective and some incident happened, then I'm personally liable for everything that happened, and not LiBCycle is liable for this. Due to this is quite an risky topic what we are doing there for our customers, and we have the whole liability by ourselves because we are working together with a network of experts. So the experts are not employees by LiBCycle, so they're external, but we are, and they are liable for the classification, but we are offering the infrastructure that they don't have to drive to the dealership and make all the tests. So our drivers are trained and can do all the testing, and they sign for the classification. The next thing what we are doing is the dismantling and testing. You can go to the next slide and I can tell it on this a little bit better. Here you can see the European map where we are doing at the moment transports, so waste transportation, and all the dots are our storage locations. And our goal is, at the moment we have only one facility in Germany where we are doing the dismantling and testing. So dismantling means that we have a whole, for example, EV pack, and they consist out of 8 modules. And then we take out the modules out of the EV pack, and then this is the first part of the recycling process, the dismantling and discharging. Due to this, we have really, for example, from a pack that weighs 500 kilogram, we have only 300 kilogram of real lithium batteries, and the rest is aluminum case, some cables and everything else what is around of the battery. And due to this, we save recycling costs for our customers. In addition, we save logistics costs because we can repack them, we can discharge them, and due to this, we get more batteries on one truck, and the whole logistics becomes more efficient. And this is the one part. Plus, when we combine it with the second life, we run diagnosis center. So we have one diagnosis center at the moment in Germany, but in the near future, hopefully in every storage, so every dot, orange or yellow dot you can see, there will be one diagnosis center and one discharge and dismantling center. So that we have really a decentral infrastructure, and in order to save CO2 emissions, that we have shorter distances and shorter routes, and can have almost everywhere a solution for our customers. And at least in the first part, we want to have it in the core countries for e-mobility at the moment, where the biggest markets are. And in the second step, we need even more infrastructure and more infrastructure in order to have really good and sustainable system for the whole circular economy. And so what we are doing in the second life sector, so we take the batteries, for example, when it's production scrap, or when the battery is really end of life, we take this to one of our diagnosis centers, make the testing, say this battery, for example, has a state of health of still 70%. Then we can run some analytics on the batteries in order to simulate different use cases. So we can simulate, for example, that this battery has 5,000 more cycles as a grid storage, or a stationary storage or something like this. And due to this, that we have the simulation, we can estimate a remaining value of the battery quite good. and so we have the value, we have the battery, and we create a marketplace so we have some white label marketplace solution for our customers where they have, for example, on the one hand, an open marketplace, or they can choose if they want an open marketplace to, for example, all players that want to buy second life batteries, or a closed marketplace only to players that they have certified, or they said we will only want to work together with these 3 players, and this runs in the background, and then we can do again the logistics in order to bring the second life batteries to the second life providers. And a second case could be that we bring the batteries to the recycling and say, here we take care of the recycling as well. This is on a smaller scale we do this, but in a larger scale it makes sense when they negotiate the contracts directly with the large recycling companies, because it's just better from a cost perspective. And yeah, this is what we are doing at the moment. And I just want to thank you for your attention, and I would be delighted to answer all your questions.
Can you put me on screen? Super. Thank you very much for these great presentations. I have to say, I had no idea how complicated and demanding this is. And this brings me to my first question, and also the audience is welcome to ask questions and post comments. My first question would be, this sounds so complicated and demanding as a process. Does it mean that you don't have competitors? Sorry.
We have only a few competitors. It's really a niche market, and it's obviously some large logistics providers like the one DHL, Kühne Nagel, DSV, DAXA, and everyone tries to find a solution. But due to the that it's considered as waste, and lithium batteries in this combination is so special that only a few players are capable and have all the certificates to do this. And so, because when you deal with waste, there are obviously some large players like Lemondes or Alba, and they are in these markets, obviously, but they have not. So for companies like them, the market is at the moment so small and at the beginning that they don't focus so much on it. And we are completely into it. Build the infrastructure around, because there are different topics like the transport boxes, and you need the warehousing, you need trained drivers, you need, for example, the add-on services, and what's the for example, the automotive industry wants is really one that can do all. And for this brings the market really makes the market of the competitors really small at the moment.
Okay,
but so of course there are competitors.
Yeah, sure. But this is the USP to offer all these solutions and all this, the services around the battery, right?
Yes, and that we have such small lead times, because we are in time is so our investor is focusing on special transportation, and is doing this for the whole automotive industry every day. And due to this, we have everywhere in Europe cars that are waste compliant, because we use them for other transports. So, for example, when we drive to the production facility of BMW in Dingolfing, we have one truck that brings, for example, some engines to the production facility, and then we can take directly the waste out. And this is only possible because we have the own network and the own cars, because when we use for everything subcontractors, this makes it much harder, and you have more kilometers you have to drive to come to the point where you can start, and due to this the costs will rise tremendously. And so in the end, logistics is everything about costs.
Exactly. And planning,
and this is And there is at the moment, due to our infrastructure that we're having, we have quite a good competitive advantage, mostly from the cost perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and this brings us to your because I learned you're the daughter company of InTime. The funny thing is that we will do the exchange I talked about some minutes ago with KUP, with also InTime Logistics, because they are this company, the case, who are transforming from linear to circular. So it's a coincidence that we have you here today presenting. So
yeah.
World is small, but this brings me to a question. You're part of InTime. Was this the plan from the beginning when you started your startup, or did this possibility develop along the way?
It's developed on the way. When you start a business, so for example, like I started it, you don't know the real goal. You have a goal, but then you have to adjust it and adjust it and adjust it, because you learn so much about the market demand and about the industry, how it works. Because when you're a young guy and don't have so much industry experience, so I worked before I started it in the private equity sector and in the consultancy. And yeah, so I thought maybe to get a supplier number will not last 6 months or something like this. This is something that brings you directly on the ground again when you try to work with large corporations and go there the first time and say, here, I have a good product, please buy it. And then they, okay, if you want to buy it, then okay, tomorrow or next Monday. And then they say, okay, maybe in 6 months, and then we make a tender if you're really the cheapest one, and then we start next summer. Something like this. So when you deal with the larger corporations, and in this field where I'm working, everything lasts quite long. And so we said that we need first financial backing and infrastructure and a good knowledge about the logistics market, because like I said, I'm not a logistics expert or was before I started it. But I realized really soon that we started from the transport box and then added the logistics, because I realized that we just have to think bigger and make the plan a little bit more circular.
So this was then a lucky punch to find this partner, because it's all about collaboration, right? Especially in this field we're in. Super. And it's also encouraging for other founders, because founders who start always think they have to have the solution and they have to have the vision and complete it. But it's different, right? It's along the way you find super solutions and good ideas.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and we have I think a really good question from the audience. I will just read it shortly. In your opinion, are the current regulations bureaucracy too complicated within Germany and also within member states in the EU? Should they become more standardized? That's a good one.
Clear yes. Yeah, clear yes. So it's really complicated. You deal with when you're in my sector, you have to deal really with the waste regulations in every country, meaning that you, for example, need at first a waste carrier license. When you want to transport waste, you need the waste carrier license. And for example, in Germany, this is a process that lasts 3 to 6 months or something like this to get one. You need one guy in your company that has at least 2 years experience in the waste sector. And when you have a small company, I don't have 2 years experience because I founded the company 2 years ago. So and then you have to hire someone that fits the needs, and this big the market barriers to get into the market are quite huge. And then you have to be not only an expert about the German system, because then you need a special IT system where every waste that is shipped from A to B is tracked. And then you just don't have to know this in Germany, so you have to know this in all European countries. For example, in Belgium, you need they don't have even only one waste carrier license, they have three, because they have three regions. You have to apply one, and they don't accept the one from the other ones. So, for example, the first 3 months, we had one in Flanders, so this is in one territory there, and we had to drive through the Netherlands, because there we had one, to get to Germany, not the direct way through Belgium, because we were in the application process. And then this is only for the transportation. And the second thing is the storage of lithium batteries, especially waste. So this is really highly regulated, and most of the companies, I would say, that are doing this, or many of them that are doing this at the moment in Germany, are not 100% compliant. Because when you speak with because there is a really big gray area of things that are not clear at the moment, are not really clear how to deal with it. When you go to the local authorities, they say, okay, we never had a case like this, that we want to have a waste storage of lithium batteries here. I have to look it up by myself. And then so in Germany, we have 4 storages, and I spoke with many of the local authorities there, and I got 4 different answers what we have to do, because we have storages that are almost the same, built almost the same, from the different criteria, and I got 4 totally different answers. And so this is definitely so, and this is only Germany. Then in Poland we have a totally different law. In Sweden it's totally different. In Hungary, Italy, Spain. So there are totally different ways you have to go. And this makes it definitely hard. So, for example, when I have to I want to become a waste carrier in Italy, or I had to fly to Rome to make a 3-day workshop, and learn everything about the Italian waste law. This was really completely insane. What you have to do there, because the waste regulation is in general not with the purpose to bring the batteries out of the country, because we have not so many recycling companies at the moment and shredder facilities. And it's more, the waste regulation is more for the standard waste, because this is markets that exist for many years. But the lithium batteries mixed everything a little bit up, and due to this we have the old laws with the new economy, and this doesn't fit together in a good way. And so we definitely have to standardize everything. This would be really helpful.
Yeah, sounds like it's really incredible what you told us. So this different regulations, this is really insane, and therefore that's the sense, right? The purpose of having these EU regulations, to have the same level of playing field, right? To not have 10 or 20 different regulations at the end. This makes it really hard. Another question coming in. We're doing quickly because I think we are not running out of time, but it's a nice evening. So I would just like to make it a little bit shorter. What was the biggest difficulty in integrating the circular economy model in LiBCycle?
To realize that you have to do this.
There's no other option,
and
right?
Yet you are, because when I started, I didn't know so much about the circular economy, because I created and invented a transport box. And so then it comes over the time, and you have to know more about the market. This was the biggest thing.
Yeah, so we all learn. That's what we always tell people. So it's always in learning. And the last question, also from the audience. In this time, what do you need most? What are the biggest challenges or hurdles on your way to the top? I think about one we just talked now, the regulation part. What else? Is it also more difficulties in getting funding, or is getting funding no longer a thing? Because your daughter of In Time, or is it still, how is the situation for LiBCycle?
So funding is for us at the moment no topic because we are well financed. The biggest topic is to have a good business case. Because when you invest like we have to invest quite a lot of money, so some millions into the market. And then, for example, when you build a storage and make it waste compliant and you invest 1 million into this, and then the end of life market for what you are building this starts when it becomes really big in 10 years, something like this, because you have to imagine all the batteries that are produced at the moment and all the cars will get broke in 10 years or even longer when we have a second life or a third life. Then they will come back in 15 years or something like this. And so the market is at the moment, so we have a lot of production scraps. This is the 99% of the market at the moment. But we have really almost no end of life batteries. And so to have the volume and the revenue in order to finance your infrastructure, because I'm not a friend of investing millions in the market without getting something in return. So I don't want to have 10 million euro in revenue and 100 and minus 100 in free cash flow, something like this. So yeah, what for me is always important is to have a sustainable business, and this means a lot that I am cash flow positive and I earn money with my solution. Of course, we have to invest in the market, but it has to be reasonable at one point.
Yeah.
And so this is the biggest challenge at the moment, to find the mixture.
Yeah, completely understandable. And this shows also your private equity history, right? You always looked on business cases, so you're used to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Super. Okay, then. Yeah, this was a really interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Philipp, for taking your time and being our guest this evening. And I also hope that you will join our CIRCULAZE Summit in November. So you are in Munich, perhaps you can make up the time. I highly suggest. So thanks for joining. And yeah, what else to say? Perhaps to announce our next trend tour, which will be in October 9th. As always, at 5 p.m. Seems to be a good time. And we will have the topic around plastic packaging, also a very thrilling issue, a very thrilling topic to talk through. And yeah, so thanks for listening in. Yeah, if there's anything we can do for you, reach out to us. You know our channels. We'll be happy to expand the conversation with you guys and spread the word. There's still some tickets left for the CIRCULAZE Summit. And yeah, so thanks to all of you. Have a good evening. Have a lovely night, and see you soon. Bye-bye.